calculation some time ago.
Yeah,
So you can use
how do
the
you know
you can
what kind of like map for the flat Earth are you using to get these distances?
if we know the longitude that they're at, you can just like take straight lines from the north, measure those, and you can get the distance between the 2 points on the flat surface.
Yeah, I don't know if that's accurate though.
How would it not be accurate?
Because latitude and longitude alone, if they just like mapped it out in Cartesian coordinates, it would be accurate, right? But they didn't just do that. They, wrapped it around the globe, and so I don't know if
You can
the
you can
latitude and longitude. I don't think it's accurate because they haven't actually measured the oceans.
What
you
about
have
artisan
you
coordinates?
can measure those. You can measure the oceans with an airplane.
Can you now with the jet
No, you
streams that we're
can't.
talking
Because
about?
because you
You
know
can measure
ground
it
speed of
with.
the airplane.
How are you accounting for headwinds and tailwinds changing the speed?
You can easily see the speed of the winds also in the airplane. I mean,
That sounds like really easy to measure.
You get ground speed off your GPS anyway.
yeah, you can use GPS, but I mean, it's a weird way to say that we haven't measured the oceans because there's cruise liners, cargo ships, everything going all the
those
time.
don't directly measure the oceans.
What do they do then? They don't
Boats
measure
have-
the distance that they travel.
Boats have headwinds and tailwinds just like planes do.
Yes, and water currents, and we know the speed of the currents. I
Exactly.
mean, you're saying that we don't know anything.
I'm not saying we don't know anything. I'm saying they've never been directly measured.
What do you mean directly measured?
And how do we know the
Directly
oceans
measured, like,
are
for
deeper than
instance, with-
1,000 feet?
They are
What's that?
shallow, but yeah, oceans are shallow. But what do you mean by direct measurement?
Like
Like with a ruler?
In terms of like a boat going across the water, they've never been directly measured to the ocean floor.
Do we know how far it is in a straight line from Los Angeles to New York? Because that's never been directly measured either.
Yeah. There's no direct measurements from my house to the store, so I can't know the distance.
There's no magic
Yeah,
about
there
the
is.
ocean. No one's ever on a
Wheels
tape
on the
measure.
ground is like a way more direct measurement than
But has it
flight
been
times.
measured? There's
No,
been
it
no one
hasn't.
with a stick and measured the distance. No one's ever done that from my
Direct-
house to the next store.
You've done it with
Direct-
a rolling stick. It's called a wheel.
No, I haven't.
So has KLAX to KJFK ever been directly measured with a rolling stick or a tape measure or anything else? Yes or no?
Has what?
Los Angeles International Airport, straight line distance to JFK International in New York, has it ever been directly measured?
It itself from those two airports, probably not. Because,
Okay, so on the basis of
hold up, let me finish. Because you have a bunch of different roads in between, and people drive the entire distance in between. So from that, we have enough evidence. We have a body of evidence, if you will, that
straight line.
we have
straight line
like
measurement.
accurate measurements for that distance.
No. Straight line measurements. I said not distance by road. Distance by road is always longer.
Yeah, I'm
There's
with
no.
you. But you
Yeah,
have
okay.
all of these distances from these roads, and you plot them all together, and you
they're
can get the
always longer.
accurate distance. You're right; it hasn't been directly measured. That exact route hasn't.
Okay.
We don't have a straight line from
According
those,
to the logic,
those
according to the
destinations.
logic you've been using for the last half an hour, therefore we don't, because it's never been directly measured. Therefore, we don't know the distance from Los
That's
Angeles to
straw
New
man,
York.
because the context that we're talking about is the oceans, where there
Percentage.
is no direct measurement of
you
anything.
said
Whereas on
we don't
land,
know the
we have
distance.
direct measurement from every location to nearby locations, right?
We
and
didn't
you could add
have
those
a direct.
together.
No, you can't add them together. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
you can
the
include
straight
them
line.
in your body of evidence to know that
Straight
your measurement is
line.
accurate.
Okay, are you telling me if you jump on Google and you look up the straight line distance from New York to Los Angeles, and then you get onto Google Maps and look up the road distance, they're not going to be enormously different?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I don't think you're listening to me.
No, I'm listening. What you said was we don't know the distance from Sydney to San Diego because it's never been directly measured, right? But
Yeah,
in
that's in the context. You have to understand that's in the context of the oceans, which are not measured whatsoever.
What's the distance?
There are no short distance measurements. Whereas on land, we have wheels on the ground, people driving every single fucking day, and it's being constantly measured, on a small scale. So we can scale it up and know that our large scale measurements are accurate.
Percentage, you can calibrate your airplanes, like you can measure the ground speed of an airplane between JFK and KLAX, and you know that you can trust it, so you can just take that plane and fly from Sydney to wherever you want, and you get the accurate ground speed.
Again, because the winds from JFK to LAX are different than a different destination.
Yes, and regardless of the wind, you get the correct airspeed and ground speed.
How? How do you have the correct
by using
airspeed
GPS,
regardless of wind?
By using GPS.
Sure you do.
Yeah, you do, because you can when you're sitting on an airplane as a passenger, you can view your ground speed, and when you're a pilot, you have your ground speed, you have your wind speed, you have your indicated airspeed. I mean, it's not magic.
I'm not sure
can you? I'm not sure percentage when you. Sorry.
I'm not sure he knows the difference between ground speed, airspeed, true airspeed, and indicated airspeed.
Yeah, but in fact, percentage. Have you used your GPS to check your car's speed?
Have I used my GPS? I don't rely on it, to be honest, but it does tell me speed.
Okay, is it correct?
Usually it's, more or less correct.
Okay, so you can use GPS to find out your ground speed.
Yeah, again, there's no issue with the land masses that have been driven and stuff like that. There's no issue with the
but it doesn't.
therein.
Why is it different?
Is with the distances of the oceans, which have never been measured.
Yeah, but if you get your ground speed from GPS, then you can get it over water too. I mean, people use it in navigation on water. Well, necessarily, yeah.
Because I'm saying the GPS for the land is accurate, right? But
why is there a difference?
There's a difference because the land, right? Like the land has been, it's been
confirmed and fixed.
Confirmed, exactly. It's been measured time and time again, so we know that the distances are accurate.
The measurements, but the measurements don't matter when you're measuring speed.
Yes, they do.
Wow.
Speed in a car is different than speed on a plane because cars don't have much headwind and tailwind.
Well,
so you know that the speed is a more accurate gauge of distance on a car.
Right, and plus, the topographical, the topography. Excuse me. It's fixed on the ground, but the water doesn't have fixed,
But it doesn't matter. The topography doesn't matter at all when you're measuring speed.
Right, but when you're measuring points between 2 points and how fast something gets to that next point, and you don't have an actual measurement on that last point, you don't really know the speed if you don't really know the distance, right?
Yeah, but you don't do it after you've gone from point A to point B. You get instant speed all the time, so it's not a point-to-point measurement.
Right, it works on my boat, so I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying for his argument, that's the only place you could go left with it.
Yeah, but if it works on your boat, then it's fucked.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get accurate distances on the water with ships and airplanes.
How do you guys know that the speed that the boat gives you is absolutely accurate?
It's not. Actually.
How do you know? How do you know that your speed in your car is absolutely accurate, or any measurements on ground are absolutely accurate?
Because that's been, backed up by tons of measurements by different people.
Yes, so is the ones in the boat.
Yeah.
No, but we have a control. We can actually directly measure the ground.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
can
And on a
directly
boat,
measure
you
the speed
can,
of the boat.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
can't
I
I
can
can,
measure
I can,
goalies.
I can
the
travel.
distance covered
No,
by the boat.
percentage. Yes,
Or
because
has
you
been
can,
done.
you
can
can
do it.
drive
That
a
has been
lake
done.
from. Yes, it has
No,
been.
it's
You
been
can
done.
take
It's been
any
done.
lake, and drive from one shore to the other.
Yeah, lake
There you
is
go.
different than oceans, but okay.
How? How is it different?
First off,
They're
lake's
just smaller with less
it's
salt in
more
them.
calm than an ocean. It has less water currents than an ocean. Has less weight. Like it's
Uh,
kind of a different beast altogether. Plus,
Depends.
your
Depends,
scale
though.
is kind of small with a lake. You might
It depends
even
on the
if
lake,
you
though.
think you have an accurate measurement for the lake, you scale it up so that's the size of an ocean, and it might be completely wrong.
Okay, if you want to go
50% or something.
if you want to go that way,
Mediterranean Sea,
then if you accept the ground measurements for distances, you can take the southern tip of India and southern tip of Africa and draw a map on those because you can drive it on land. So you get the distance from the southern tip of India to the southern tip of Africa.
What?
Also, there's some other distances that you can get that are connected by land, which don't work on your flat Earth, but do work on a globe.
I don't think I followed. What are you talking about? The tips of India and Africa?
India and Africa, they are connected by land. So there's a land measurement between the distance of those 2 points.
Okay.
So you know the
Are you
distance.
saying like go side by side with a car on land versus like a boat on the water or something? What do you say?
You said that land distances have been measured.
Yeah,
So
they're
you know the
measured every
distance.
time someone's driving, they're measured.
Yeah. So you can know the distance between the southern tip of India and southern tip of Africa, the straight line distance too, because you know the distance between those points on land, right?
No, not necessarily.
Why not?
Because the straight line
kinda like
distance is
saying-
going over a large part of water that hasn't been measured.
Yeah, but if you measure the land, you
Yeah,
can
we
get
know
the measurement.
distance of the land as long as
fuck's
you're
sake,
sticking
you
to the land.
guys.
It's like, I
Jesus.
feel like
It's a
I
desperate.
got confused.
Look,
It's like saying I know that the
Jesus
diameter.
H. Christ, it's not that difficult.
I
Yeah.
know the circumference of these
I
two
understand what he's
circles.
saying, but it's
Therefore, I
just-
know the distance between these two circles.
Look,
Is what
GPS
it
has
is.
been
Bad argument.
verified as working via direct land measurements. Therefore, GPS is confirmed to work anywhere you can receive GPS signals. That includes the water, that includes the air. End of argument. GPS works.
Yeah, it does. But
That's the beginning of the argument.
yeah.
To be honest.
Can I just say, for the record, the straight line distance flying from Los Angeles International to JFK is 2,475 statute miles. The shortest route by road is 2,829 statute miles. So good luck working out the straight line distance by plane from driving it. It's 450 miles wrong.
And
I
if you
think
want to get
completely
the
disregarded the argument, but if you want to, kind of work.
Yeah, but that was your argument. Your argument
No,
was
the argument was
we've
that
never
there's- Hold on, let me answer you again, and maybe it'll stick this time. The argument is there's like a myriad, a wealth of different data points from shorter like segment people driving in their cars, shorter measurements, right? That you could bring all together. You can combine them all together into a map, if you will, that will give you an accurate distance from one end of the country to the other because it's all over land, right?
Listen,
That's the
no,
argument.
you listen. That's what I just did. I just got Google Maps.
No, that's not. You just took the shortest route by car. I'm saying you could take all of these together and then make a straight line distance.
Are you saying you're going to get a more accurate estimation of the straight line distance by air by taking a road route that isn't the shortest route?
Not necessarily by air. It would just be a more accurate distance because it's
Straight line.
derived
No, straight
from
line.
direct measurements
straight line.
of
I'm
wheels
just
on the ground.
straight line by air doesn't matter. right? The measured distance by road is 450 miles
Okay, you're not listening.
different.
That's all right.
I'm listening. You're saying you can work out the straight
then
line
you're not
distance
comprehending.
by the road distance. You can't. I just did it. It's wrong.
Maybe someone else will have better luck.
You're not listening. You can't work out the air distance by the road distance because
you're hearing me.
the
but
road
you're not
distance
listening.
the road distance
You
is
have to
always
measure
longer.
the road less traveled on.
Why?
Sorry. Screwball.
Anyway, I just did it. It's hopeless. It's almost 500 miles different distance.
Of course, it's going to be a different distance, bro. Do you think that
Yeah,
a
but-
road doesn't curve and doesn't have topology and go up and down? Come on.
But you said you can get an accurate straight line distance by using the road distance.
Yes, you can. By using all of the road distances from all of the driving and stuff like that they've done from different destinations, local, smaller segments. You can combine those all together, plot them out, and see what the shortest straight line, like the straight line distance would be between those two airports.
I just did that with Google Maps.
Except you didn't.
I
You just
told it
looked
to
at
find.
you
I
just
told
looked
it
at
to
the
find
shortest road. That's not what I'm saying.
the
I'm saying
shortest
make up a
distance by
straight
road.
kind of
Yeah,
distance.
but how do we know how Google Maps is doing
Algorithmically.
that?
Jesus, it's fucking peak denialism. We don't know
I'm just trying to
anything.
bring out how ridiculous these. Never mind.
What? So now, not only do we not know any distances by sea or air, now you're saying Google Maps doesn't know the distance
he's
by
being
road either.
facetious. Come on.
Nothing works.
According to you
and
guys, we don't know anything. According to you guys, we don't know anything.
Yo, Grim, careful. Don't make a joke or else they'll think you're a flat earther like me.
Thanks for that, because I was literally cocked and ready to go.
No,
It's
we already know
interesting
that
just-
Grim is an idiot, so.
Pilots
Yeah, they already
need to know.
One of
They
the
already
most
know. I already
intelligent
make them
people in
feel a
this
certain
room.
kind of way about
sure.
themselves.
Pilots need to know
Sucks when you see
the
an idiot,
winds on
somebody
their
who's
route.
Such an idiot be so successful in life. It makes you feel a certain
Pilots,
kind of way. You have to be mad about it or something for some reason.
pilots need to
Look
know
bad.
about the winds.
How could I be such an idiot?
I mean, you can be an idiot and still be successful. It's possible.
Oh, okay,
100%.
cool.
You
So
speaking
then
from
what's the
experience?
goal? What's the goal then to be Mr. Smarty Pants? To be unsuccessful and miserable and be like you?
Who said I was
And be so
miserable?
smart? I don't know who's
You
smarter,
sound
really.
miserable.
I can't tell because I'm not miserable.
I mean, yeah, being an idiot makes you more likely to be happy with your life.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. I'm such an idiot. That's so true. It must be. Because it makes you feel better.
If they're more happy, then are they really the idiots?
Ta-da. There's something to think about. Yeah, Mr. Grimm is an idiot. But Fauci was lying. Remember, I was such an idiot because I said Fauci was lying. Oh, I was such an idiot. But you guys were all so right and perfect, weren't you? Oh, but look, you're wrong now, all of a sudden. But did you say anything like, oh, yeah, by the way, I was wrong?